the training of a true Vado. With Southern Hills Golfland burned to ash and the Alliance scattered across the hidden arcade network of California, the resistance went deep underground. The name Duck Dew, the newly anointed king of SoCal, had already evolved in the smoky, neon-lit trenches of the arcade underground. To the crews running late-night sets at James Games and Regency, he wasn't just Duck anymore. Through his dark shadow traps and towering presence, he had taken on a heavier, more mythic mantle, Duck Vader. Under his command, the scattered pockets of the West Coast began the grueling work of rebuilding, recruiting, and sharpening their weapons for the inevitable war to come. The Regency Stronghold. At Regency Arcade, the atmosphere was thick with tension and cigarette smoke. Black Juan, J-Tron, Regency Ivan, and Regency Rob stood huddled around a heavily modified cabinet, watching the monitors display live feeds of East Coast patrols scouting the perimeter. If they think they can roll down our coastline without meeting a wall of pain, they're out of their minds, Thrilla muttered, cracking his knuckles as Roundhouse and Melvin calibrated a bank of backup controllers. Off to the side, Hamthrax and Dextrous were drilling spatial resets, moving with terrifying speed. Regency had become the primary tactical lab for the Alliance, a fortress where raw reflexes were forged into surgical precision. The James Games and Family Fun Center enclaves. Further down the line, the underground syndicates were holding their own lines. At James Games, Mike Chaos and Dark Prince ran endless Iron Man sets, pushing their stamina past human limits while Duck Vader oversaw operations, ensuring every trap and counter read was optimized to pierce East Coast armor. At the Family Fun Center, Fanatic, Neo, and Infrared established a covert training compound, secretly smuggling surplus Moss arcade hardware and spare components past patrolling syndicates. The mentorship in the shadows. Away from the main arcade floors, deep in the secluded back alleys near Cameron's in North Santa Ana, a quiet, intense lesson was underway. Deathwish, the hyperkinetic assassin of the SoCal elite, stood leaning against a brick wall, watching a young, hyper-focused brawler throw rapid-fire, thunder-infused combos into a concrete pillar. It was a true Vado. Too loose on the recovery frames, Vado, Deathwish corrected sharply, pushing off the wall. If you drop your guard for a microsecond against the East Coast, Wong or one of his lieutenants will exploit it before you even realize you've been hit. Clean up the execution. A true Vado wiped the sweat from his brow, breathing heavily, his eyes flashing with the golden-silver resonance of the Moss relic training Deathwish had drilled into him. I got it, Vado gritted out, adjusting his stance. Watch this. He exploded forward in a blur of hypersonic speed, leaving a trail of static electricity in the air as his fists slammed into the heavy steel target with earth-shattering force. Deathwish gave a rare, approving nod. He had trained him well. A true Vado was no longer just a local brawler. He was a lethal weapon forged in the crucible of the West Coast's darkest hour. Across California, from Regency to Cameron's, the new generation was rising. The castles were burned, but the bloodline of the West Coast was stronger, sharper, and deadlier than ever before.